Right, we're back. New angle this time. Wanted to try a different sort of setup and just see how this one went. Different microphone too. Hopefully it'll sound pretty good in the final edit. So we'll wait and see. Right. Anyways, so today we're gonna be talking about iOS 17.1 Developer Beta 2 actually, and we're gonna be talking about my personal experience, some things that have been going on, battery life, heat for my device personally, as well as just a couple other things. So let's hop right into it. All right, so if we go into settings and then we go into build number here, you'll see our build number is 21B5056E. And that E at the end means that there's a couple betas left, A, B, C, D, E, so about around 5, I would say, 4 or 5 betas. And then we'll have our public release, I assume maybe around the end of this month. Yeah, it's October, right. Anyways, so yeah, I'd expect iOS 17.1 to be released to the public around the end of October, maybe early November. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens, but something like that. All right, our next feature here is actually double tap for the Apple Watch. Now, I don't have an Apple Watch that supports this, so I can't personally show you guys. I will find a video of it. However, basically, for those of you who don't know, the new Apple Watch Ultra 2nd generation and the Apple Watch Series 9 both support this new double tap feature. So for those of you who also don't know, the Apple Watch has had an accessibility feature that allows you to double tap, or there's a couple things. There's like a bunch of different actions. You can like double tap, you can single tap, you can clench your fist once or twice. Like there's a lot to do there. But that's been a feature since like the Apple Watch Series 6, I think, or at least something along that. And so basically it's where you do whatever with your hand and it'll execute some sort of function. Well, that was a an accessibility feature beforehand. Now it's like a full on software baked in feature, automatically turned on. And so basically, what it is you double tap your fingers and it will perform some sort of action. It'll typically press the main button in whatever menu you're on. So if you're playing music, you double tap once to pause the music, double tap again to play the music, something like that, right? And so it just depends on what app you're in. So not technically a new feature, but it's new as in the fact that it's fully baked in. It seems to work a lot more reliable based on what I've heard. So pretty cool, I would say, pretty cool. All right, the next thing we're going to talk about is the Journal app. So when Apple first talked about iOS 17, the first developer beta, their event thing, WWDC 23, they talked about the Journal app, and you might have not even realized that was a thing because we've heard nothing about it, right? And so basically, what was supposed to happen is Apple said that alongside iOS 17, they would release the Journal app. We didn't expect it to be in the full version of iOS 17, which it's not. It's not even here yet. And we've yet to see it inside of any betas either. All right, and now let's talk about a couple battery features. Not quite battery life, but battery features. So basically, if you haven't heard, the iPhone 15 lineup has some new features that come along with battery. And so the first one is allowing you to see the battery cycle count, which I think is pretty useful information. We've yet to see it on any other phones except for the iPhone 15s. But basically, it's where you would go into settings and then go into the About section of your iPhone, and then you scroll all the way down to the bottom, and you'll see this list of when the battery was designed, when it was first activated, and also the battery cycles. You can actually check your battery cycles using third-party apps. Like I use Coconut Battery. It's like an extension for the Mac. However, this basically what Apple's done here is built this straight into the iPhone, which I think is awesome. I really like it. Still, no sign of it for any other devices except for the iPhone 15, which is weird. I don't know why they're doing that, but I've yet to see anything. As well as there's also a couple new features on charging. So as of right now, when you plug up your iPhone, it sort of kind of gets used to when it's been, or like where it's been charging, how long it's been charging, and then what time you plug it up as well as unplug it, and it'll actually hold that battery percentage at 80%. However, there's some new features where you can actually select it to always charge only to 80%, so it never charges above that amount, which I think is awesome. Again, this is something that I don't have on my personal device. I do not have an iPhone 15, and I just, for some reason, I mean, I feel like these are totally things that Apple could bring to the rest of the lineup, but we've just not happened to see that yet, and I really, really hope they bring it, because honestly, I mean, I like that a lot. Alright, next one, also battery related. A bit of a weird sort of, like, I don't know, it's one of those things, like, not a big deal. I don't know why Apple would have done it, but they did. But if you look at the battery icon, so if you have it turned on to where you have like the battery percentage where you can actually see it on your device, you can actually like the icon itself is more rectangular, more squared off. It's less rounded. I've seen it myself. I've heard some other people talk about it. I'm not sure if it's a bug or if it's they've just changed it to be like that. But it's like it's one of those really small features. Like Apple, there's other things we could be working on, not necessarily like rounding off or not rounding off, but squaring the battery icon. I'm not sure what they're doing there. Just something that I've noticed and some other people have noticed too. So I guess we'll see where that one heads. All right, and then let me talk about battery health and battery life. So again, on my iPhone 13 Pro, my battery health is still at 89%, and it's been fine. You know, I've used it a lot, definitely a lot, and I've not really had many problems with battery. iOS 17.0.2 has been awesome for battery. Since I am on the betas, I am not using iOS 17.0.3, which is the most current public release. Um, but still, even on these betas, battery for me, it's pretty chill. You know, I've had the phone for 2 years now. Like, it's getting a little bit older, but battery life still for me is fantastic, and I've really not had any issues with it. It's getting me throughout the day. Granted, you know, if there's that day where I'm FaceTiming or calling someone for a while, or spending 3 hours on creating some sort of essay or whatever, like, yeah, the battery will drop a little quicker. I guess I'm not really creating essays on my phone. That's more of an iPad thing. Point is, battery life for me has really not been a problem. I've been totally chill with it, not had any problems. And then lastly, I want to talk about the heat of the device, because I've heard some people, specifically iPhone 15 and 15 Pro related. I think it's more affecting the iPhone 15 Pro than anything because there's that new design with titanium, which doesn't transfer heat very well, which means Apple's going to have to push heat through the screen and the back glass more of the iPhone 15 Pro, which I think is why people are feeling it overheat a lot more. Either way, with iOS 17.0.3, they've said that they've hopefully fixed the overheating issue. I don't have an iPhone 15 Pro, so I can't say anything about that. Although, I do have an iPhone 13 Pro, and I've not really noticed any overheating. I mean, since iOS 17 was released to the public, like, really not had any problems with overheating. Yeah, it'll get hot if it's the middle of summer, but for the most part, it's fine. We're just chilling. But you know, maybe this it'll get even better with this next update coming around. So again, just one of those things. We'll just kind of have to wait and see. All right, well, that about sums it up for me. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, please remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell, as it helps me out a ton. And leave a comment too. Let me know what you guys thought, as well as maybe some more video suggestions. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see y'all in the next one. So yeah, bye guys.